This is going to be an XCOM 2, War of the Chosen playthrough, on Commander difficulty. The aim of this series is to provide a narrated playthrough, explaining the thought processes involved, as a reference for other players. I'm going to be using a minimal selection of mods, nothing game-changing, just quality of life fixes. As mentioned, we're going to be playing on Commander difficulty. Legend is a completely different experience which this guide doesn't cover. We're going to disable Lost and Abandoned, which is a pair of fixed tutorial missions, and we're going to set the content DLCs to be integrated. Having them not integrated enables their missions, which are not balanced for War of the Chosen. In Operation Gatecrasher, you will start with 3 rookies and, if you disabled Lost and Abandoned, one of the faction heroes. In our case we got extremely lucky, because we started with one of the Reapers, which is arguably the best of the War of the Chosen factions.
Reapers are born in the shadows, in the cold, harsh world that was waiting for us out there. We rely on stealth and long-range attacks, and our marksmen are unmatched by even the best XCOM has to offer.
Reapers kind of trivialize this mission, because they're the only unit available that can enter concealment. This allows you to safely scout out the pods, and easily set up Overwatch ambushes without worrying about wandering into other groups.
These guys make up the bulk of the Advent forces we've dealt with. They're disciplined and well-equipped, but their obedience makes them predictable.
There are 2 pods on this mission, with Legend adding a 3rd. There's the Trooper pod, which has 3 troopers, and the Officer pod, which has an officer and 2 troopers.
You're near the target position.
My goal for the first pod is to get my rookies in an elevated position, put 2 of them on Overwatch, and then use the 3rd to grenade the pod. The ideal scenario is that the grenade, which does 3 to 4 damage, kills at least one of the troopers, and then the 2 rookies on Overwatch mop up any stragglers. If they miss any of their shots, then we can use the faction hero as a backup.
I will reposition.
These civilians are a bit of a nuisance. Normally I'd go all the way around the building, to avoid the pod.
As you order, Commander.
Location confirmed. Time to motor.
It's very important that you get an elevated position if you can, because your rookies cannot hit anything. It makes this mission quite tedious at times.
I'm trusting you.
There's a pipe over here which we can use to get onto the roof. I'm making sure to set waypoints here, control on PC, to make sure we don't accidentally smash through a window.
Move, move, move!
This last rookie can't actually get inside safely. That's fine though, because we can just use them to throw the grenade.
Roger, I've got my eyes on.
I'll keep an eye on it.
Moving out.
I'm actually trying to select my next unit here, but the game isn't responding. This means that I've either spotted something or I've been revealed. Here I can see that we've spotted the other pod behind the objective.
We're not sure whether to chalk it up to training or stricter mind control.
The number 1 most important thing is that you do not activate both pods at the same time.
On
I
Overwatch.
go where I'm needed. Reapers are always vigilant.
This was a poor play on my part, because they very nearly revealed my Reaper. Otherwise we're good to go. Set our 2 high ground rookies on Overwatch and then throw the grenade. As we wanted, we managed to kill one of the troopers. So hopefully, our 2 rookies land their shots.
Target neutralized. Who's keeping score?
And that is a textbook first pod.
My life is in your hands.
So now we want to keep an eye on this pod, while we set up in our next position. The goal with this pod is to either have them patrol into our overwatch, or because we have the Reaper, just use the Claymore.
I am at your service.
Position confirmed. Affirmative. Let's do this.
Moving
on.
as ordered.
I'm on it.
We have our rookies in a good position, so I feel like now is a good time to start our attack. However, we can see that the officer is here, and we can tell because we can't select that tile. Claymores have a 3x3 area, so we need them to be a little more clustered together.
Folk says I am to obey.
Affirmative. Overwatch. Covering now.
No one will cross.
I probably should have reloaded my units there, because they only needed 1 action to overwatch. Now they're close enough together to get them all with the Claymore. As you can see, we're extremely close to activating them. This UI indicator is from a fantastic mod called Gotcha again. The Claymore does exactly 5 damage, which means it will kill both troopers and leave the officer severely wounded. Having our Reaper get revealed here isn't a big deal, because this is the last enemy on the map. What I want to do here is have a unit with a grenade as a backup, and then try to kill the officer with standard shots. That way we don't destroy any loot he might have.
Not good.
Unfortunate, but not unexpected. You always want to try to have a backup plan, just in case your main approach fails.
Throwing grenade.
Area is secure. We're not picking up any inbound contacts. Scanners are clear. Menace 1-5, we have a limited window to act before Advent responds. We need to get those charges planted on the double.
I understand.
Here I come. Moving to Overwatch.
Menace 1-5, we have a limited window to act before Advent responds. We need to get those charges planted on the double. Menace 1-5, rendezvous at the extraction point. Status confirmed. Squad is clear. Detonating charges.
With Reapers, this mission is fairly straightforward. You can easily cripple the officer pod and don't have to worry about concealment and overwatches as much. With other faction heroes, you'd have to play a little more cautiously, particularly with Templars.
After a mission like that, spirits are going to be high around here. We might have to resupply the bar.
Our goal for promotions is that we want one of each of the key classes. Number 1 is a Grenadier, because cover destruction is a crucial part of the early game. If we get every other class other than a Grenadier, then I'm going to be very disappointed. We want a Specialist, because if there's a hacking objective, then it means we don't have to play as recklessly. And then finally we want a Ranger, because they're probably the best all-around unit in the game. Essentially, we can do without a sharpshooter.
Just like it sounds, operating some of our most... serving as our demolitions experts.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a ranger, but we did get the specialist and the grenadier, which are arguably more important.
Commander to the research labs.
For my first project, I'm going to be researching alien biotech, and the reason for this is because I want special items before we get our first retaliation mission. Mind shields and battle scanners can help a lot with the Chosen. While we can research magnetic weapons, we won't be able to build them before the first retaliation.
I do find that area of research to be among the more intriguing options available. We'll begin work immediately. I'll send word when a complete report is available.
Commander to...
There are two things I want to do here. The first one is that I want to build a flashbang.
You'd be surprised how big of a difference some of these things can make in combat, Commander. With a few supplies, I can manufacture anything we need in no time.
Flashbangs are basically your get-out-of-jail-free card in the early game.
There's room for us to expand our facilities on board the Avenger, Commander, but we'll need more engineers to clear out space for construction first.
And then for the first facility, I want to be building a resistance ring because, while you can choose what classes you get from the guerrilla tactics school, you can put your rookies through the ring faster, and also you get rewards for doing so.
We'll start work on the new facility right away, Commander. I'll send word when it's up and running.
Commander, one of our resistance contacts just tipped us off to a site that may be worth investigating.
The only options we have are rookies and intel. We'll go with the rookies for now, since we need to get our roster up.
Commander, the Avengers remote scanning cable...
New objective added.
The Advent officers have clearly been modified to allow for their subordinates to receive new orders psionically. The implanted chip is the key.
We're going to be moving straight onto the officer autopsy to continue towards special items. We get 4 rookies. The next one is supplies, which is decent. You'll usually need supplies in the early days to build all of the stuff you want.
Commander, as the Resistance continues to grow, we'll have a better chance of finding openings to strike back at Advent.
Here comes our next mission, a hacking objective with the Lost.
Aliens operations in this region. Our window of opportunity is limited, so we'll have to move fast. Commander, if we're gonna win this war, we need to take every chance.